Nobody would have thought that I would be the one. Reiner, sports talk. Baseball, 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 baseball.
Oh, with the big mic. Oh, okay. All right, yeah. Okay, now I get it.
We had a lightning strike, boys. What happened over there, Grego? We had a little lightning strike right outside the window.
All right. Here's a tip for all these Americano League teams.
Wait, you said tip?
Yeah, tip.
Okay.
With a P.
Keep jamming.
The ticket, colon, nothing but a big Gen X jerk-off sake. This is a cool night or what? Although somebody would hear that and go, bullshit.
I'm back, bitches.
About this time of the day, we used to tell you that the day is just about done. And it's time for you to tear it on down. But before you do, you know you're going to drive by your place. You know you're not going to be able to drive past it. So don't even fight it. Just pull into the parking lot and go inside, because it's your kind of place. It's a place where they know you and you know them. It's a place where the lights are dim, the music swings, but it's never too loud. You can take the edge off. It's a place where the drinks are frosty, but you don't even have to tell them when to make it a double. They know these things. It's a place where the skirts are tight and the necklines plunge. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're thinking there's no places like that anymore. But we've told you before. We're telling you now. There is. It's the Sunset Lounge. So go on. Step inside the green door. Have a seat at the bar and get in the groove at the Sunset Lounge. With us, your dark companion. Now it's time for us to let you in on a little something that we've been keeping from you. We're very excited about this. We're still in the very formative stages of this thing. We don't have everything ironed out just yet. We know that. It is a work in progress. It'll get better as it goes along. Everybody will get better as it goes along. That includes me. That includes the ladies. That includes everybody. And it also includes the new guy who is coming on board today. Who could it be? There he is. It is Shoopy. Shoopy.
How are we?
We are great. We are glad to have you as part of your dark companion.
I never would have thought.
I never would have thought either, Shoopy. Never would have. But you're here.
Times are good.
Times are good.
Oh, my God. OMG.
LOL.
I like doing radio without shoes.
I do, too.
Yeah.
I like doing radio without pants, which you can do in here if you want them.
I think we technically are.
Yeah, we are. So you're here.
Somehow, some way.
What are you going to do, Shoopy?
I really don't know yet, but I think we're going to have some fun. I think I'm going to talk a little bit, play a few drops when we start to build an arsenal, and try to just help make this thing fly.
Just like the old days.
Just like the old days.
Except you will be a little bit more involved on the talking front than you've ever been before.
Which could
and
be good
I'm
or bad.
excited about that.
Well, if you're excited, then I'm excited.
Yes, I am excited about it. Because I want all mics on at all time.
Okay.
Around here.
I'll be turned on.
Just like the old days. I'll be turned on too. So here he is. This is the new addition to the Dark Companion crew. Joining Ashley, joining Becca, joining me, it is Shoopy!
Yay. So now what do we do?
I know.
brainstorm. What kind of things do we want to do next?
Ooh.
What all can people expect now that we've got so many people?
So
The people are loving it too.
really?
Yes.
Are we already getting comments?
Yes.
Oh.
Very, very diverse group we have here.
Yes.
Very excited about where this might go.
We're going to do a lot of fun things.
And I want a lot of input from each of you about this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know this was my big idea and everything like that. And I know there was a time when I did this all by myself and everything, but now I have others around me. And I've always worked well with others and done best when I have others with me. And I'm excited about this. Very excited about it.
We're going to have some fun, damn it.
We are going to have some fun, damn it. And we want you here having fun with us at your Dark Companion. Tell everybody about it. Tell them to go to patreon.com and sign up for your Dark Companion because, as the great Don Cornelius used to say, it's going to be a stone gas.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so real quick, people are saying this is just a Shoopy show. This is actually a long-standing new way this is going to run. Groovy will be here from here on out with Mikey. Sometimes they will have their own show together for YDC, but other times he will be doing the magic that is Grubes.
Yes. Now, I thought I made that clear. Maybe I didn't. Does there seem to be some
Shoopy
conjecture
show.
about it?
There's one comment for sure that's Shoopy show, and it is a Shoopy show.
I was going to say, we're
is a
both
Shoopy
Shoopy.
show.
Yes, that's right.
I just want to clarify though that this is the new thing.
This is the new
real.
thing.
I appreciate
This is it.
the
This is-
Shoopies, LFG.
All right,
Let's effing go.
This is the way it's going to be in perpetuity. I didn't mean to make anybody think this is a one-off or anything like that because it is most assuredly not. Shoopy is here.
Forever.
And yes, we will party on.
We will.
And hard, too.
Oh, we're going to party so hard.
All the time.
Okay, so since y'all seem to need some guidance on where we're going, hey Grooves, tell me about the first time you met Mike Reiner.
Oh, Lord. Would have been about 16 years old, starting as an intern at the Ticket with Norm Hitzkes. Feel like the first time Shoopy and I met was maybe at the Hero Celebrity Baseball game, back when you and Grego played in it, like 2002.
Maybe. Could be.
And maybe I had stuck around past Norm Show and past Bad Radio and tried just hanging out in the control room. And I think that's when Danny asked, don't you have somewhere else to be? Yeah, but
as things turn out, yes, you did have somewhere else to be, and that somewhere else is here.
Yes. But no, like Shoopy, thankfully, has always been incredibly kind to me and never treated me as an intern, just always seemed to have somewhat of an interest in me, maybe because I was weird.
Yeah, you were weird, but I'm real good at poking through the weird and getting a few layers down beneath it and seeing what else might be there.
Mm-hmm.
And something told me that, yes, there is something here. Now, what are you going to do with it? I don't know. Didn't know then. Not terribly clear now, but we do know that value is there. We do know what you're good at, and we plan to max you out.
I'm down. I'm down to party.
In that way that you can be maxed out with this thing.
I love it. Yeah, so about 22 years of knowing Shoopy and third time working together. Not bad.
Yes, that's right.
Got to be doing something right.
And there was a time when I thought that we had done our last together.
Yeah. I thought after I left the Ticket that, we'd see each other at concerts or just, a random get-together.
Let's see each other around.
Yeah. But then...
maybe there would be a pepper theft, petty theft double bill every now and then.
Did a couple of those.
We did a couple of those. But as far as ever doing anything like this in this realm together, no, I didn't think we would. But then the little freak came up. And really one of the things that pushed me over the edge to go ahead and do the little freak was the fact that you were going to be there. Had that not been the case, I don't know if I'd have been quite so enthusiastic about it. I probably would have looked at it and gone, no, it's a nice idea, but I don't know, man. And not gotten that involved. But once you got involved, then okay, I'm in.
Well, that's awesome to hear.
If I get to work with Shoopy, I'm in. And I really loved working with you up there. You have not lost a thing when it comes to being at the helm and running a show, you know. A lot of people may think that's a marginal skill. And yeah, you think that until you get a really good one and you see what a difference a really good one can make. I probably thought that for a long time. But then I ran into Shoopy the first time, and I did see that you get somebody with a little creativity who's actually paying attention back there, then greatness can happen. And it did. And it did every day on a very routine basis with you.
Well, I had a blast, and I think we've recounted it enough times on the air before, but I remember just barely a year into my time at the Ticket, I was still maybe 18 at that point, possibly 17, but was at a remote that you guys were doing and that the Hardline was doing, and I went up to you and Grego, and that confidence of youth or whatever you want to call it, I was like, I want to be your board op. And a few years later, I got to be.
Yes.
And
I remember that, and I remember thinking, this guy's out of his head. Nobody wants to be a board op. But that's the way you break into the game, is being a board op and doing stuff like that. That's the way I did it. I did low-level stuff like that for eons before I got any kind of break back in the day. It's just the nature of the beast. You have to do stuff like that to prove your mettle and prove what you got and prove that you're serious about it all. And once you do that, then if you're lucky, you might slip through the cracks and wind up with a pretty good situation on your hands.
say,
And I don't know if your situation was great, but boy, I thought it was. I thought having you was really when we were at our best.
well, that's amazing. Like, I just know that it was the most fun thing I've ever done, and getting to do it again at the Freak was even better, and now getting to do this, I think we can take it to another level, hopefully.
I hope we can. That's what we're going to try and do. And I hope you, the YDCP1, will stay with us.
Night Riders. Come on now.
Yes, we are the Night
We just
Riders.
named them the other day. They're the Night Riders.
Yes, we're the Night Riders.
So another thing I'm curious about, Mike, what was that moment that you just really knew that Grubes was going to be a part of, like, kind of your clan? Because y'all have just an amazing relationship. Like, the relationship between y'all is one of the coolest I've seen, especially in, like, the media industry. Like, Ben and Skin have one to me that's like that, and then there's some other people, but you two have, like, a friendship, a camaraderie, but also, like, this adoration for each other that you don't really see very often for people, not only in media, but just in general. So, like, what was that moment that you just knew that Grubes was, like, in that with you?
I think, I don't know if this was the moment, but it was a big moment when I met his parents, when I met Big Mike and Diane. And I came away from that knowing and feeling and thinking that, okay, these people are trusting him to you. Watch out for him. And I tried to do that. I tried to watch out for him and make sure that, you know, nothing bad happened to him up there to the degree that I, a lowly urchin, could. But yeah, I think meeting his parents and seeing what great people they are, that kind of indicated to me that if these two can turn out something like this, then he must be really a really good dude, and somebody that you really need around you.
I was going to say, for the record, they tried their best. I turned out like this through no fault of them. But I thought your answer was going to be something like, first time I've, like, spliced together Norm drops to make y'all laugh, or,
well,
you know,
now
that hey Mike, hey Grego stuff.
Yeah, now that gets around. that gets around to the skills aspect of this. I'm speaking more on the personal level.
Fair enough.
But on the skills aspect, I can't remember exactly what you did first that got my attention. It was probably just a gradual thing over a period of time where you just kept turning out greatness and turning out stuff that made me laugh and doing things that I didn't think somebody who ran the board for you was supposed to do. See, you took it to a new level. You added a new dimension to it. And you know that, and you can tell that because everybody who came after you went down that path. You know, we didn't have just a button pusher back there. We had somebody who saw what Shoopy did and wanted to do it himself. And most of the time, they did it because they thought it would be fun. And that's why I say you brought it to a whole new level.
Well, I mean, I was always inspired by Expo and Jarrett, now Jillian, and Psycho Dave. Like, I kind of saw what they were doing, and then I think I was young enough to not know what I didn't know about how you're supposed to do the job or what it's really supposed to entail. Like, I knew enough to know that, okay, you're supposed to make sure the commercials run on time. But otherwise, I was just like, I just want to make everybody laugh. I want to do funny stuff with drops and see what happens. And that's where, I think coming up with the, really crazy Norm drops and splicing stuff together and just kind of like, this seems like it would be funny. It might make them laugh. And just kind of taking bits and pieces of what they did, what people like Danny did, what Bob and Dan did with audio, and just kind of all pushing it together and making something of it.
And all those people that preceded you should not be forgotten and should be mentioned because they're a big part of anything that, has been done in that with that gig and in that role since. I mean, Expo is practically the one who started it all.
Yeah.
Expo is Kevin Fox, a math major, a genius in his own way, maybe a little bit of a flawed genius, but a genius nonetheless.
Aren't they all?
Yes, it's part of it, part and parcel of it. And he was the one that really got the drop thing happening.
Mm-hmm.
And he got really, really good at it. And see, the thing people don't understand about this is if you're going to do that and you're going to do it like he did it, you have to be able to get into the minds of us and figure out where we might be about to take something. And then know what is available to you, know what you have, and figure out if there might be a place down the road where what you have and where we go might align for you to blast a little genius our way. And he was the first to do it. He was really good at it. But all the other guys that came after him, there really wasn't a whole lot of drop-off after he left. See, it's not a job you do forever. It's not a job you can do forever. It does require intense focus, intense concentration at all times for your entire shift, every day, every hour, every minute. And if something goes wrong in there, you're going to have to answer to the man.
Yep.
If something goes wrong, it's probably not going to be us that has to answer to it. It's probably going to be you.
The last line of defense, they called us.
Yes, that's right. You were the last line of defense. And it can be a job that doesn't pay terribly well and a rather thankless job, but it's a vital one. Every talk radio outlet out there has one. And we were just lucky because we came up with a whole string of really, really good ones. Every time somebody would leave, I would think, okay, the quality of the show is going to drop off a little bit because he's gone now. And it wouldn't drop off. It would be different because everybody who came through there in that job had their own perception, their own ideas about how it should be done, what was funny, what worked, what didn't. And none of them was an exact replica of the guy that came before him. They each took it to a new place And I thought that was really neat to watch.
Yeah, it always evolved in a different way.
Yeah, it did. But the one who took it to the most different places was you, Shoopy.
For better or worse.
Oh, definitely for better.
Yeah, but it always was fun just trying to finish your sentences, basically. Like, if I was locked in well enough on whatever you or Grego or later on Jeff and Julie or whoever, if I was able to lock in on what y'all were going to say and hopefully beat y'all to that last word or two, it just made everything fun.
Yeah.
Shot the wheels off a little bit, but, hopefully it was funny enough or well-placed enough that it felt like it was just part of the conversation, where if you did, laugh a little bit, you could still keep the conversation going. It didn't always have to throw the wheels off.
It can be a thankless job. It can be a monotonous job, but it doesn't have to be either of those things. I know I always tried to tell whoever was doing it in there how much I appreciated them, appreciated their work, their focus, the way they went about doing their job. And as far as, coming up with creative new ideas, they were all really, really good. But none of them were better than you. None of them were better than you, and none of them achieved quite the notoriety for doing it that you did.
I guess I don't know how to react to that, but
So humble.
something like that. But no, it's all been thankfully really fun, and in between the radio jobs, getting to do the stuff with the Dallas Stars as their DJ, and then the Mavs and the Rangers and the Frisco Rough Riders Ambassador fun, and running the audio board for Fox and Valley Southwest and all that. Like, it all was because of my time at the Ticket running the board for you.
See, I don't think I could be a DJ. I just don't think I could. You always knew the right stuff to play, and I think I'd get too deep into the weeds to be good at it. Play too much stuff that I like, but the masses probably don't know, and it probably wouldn't fit anyway. That's a skill.
Yeah,
That is a skill.
And definitely it helped that, my first sports DJ gig was working for the Stars, who, they're the most non-traditional sport to have in Dallas, basically. It almost doesn't make sense to have a hockey team in Dallas, but, I basically got to learn from the ground up on just how to do it and kind of being able to do our own thing with it.
Now, who taught you that over there?
A combination, I'd say, of Jeff K, who's been the longtime PA voice for the Stars, and then Jason Danby, who was the Stars game presentation director for just about my entire tenure there. And he's become one of my closest friends, and just, we were very much on the same wavelength of, if we're going to do this, we're going to be weird, we're going to be different, we're going to try not to play all the arena staples. We kind of had a running bet at different times of, okay, we're not going to play Welcome to the Jungle for as long as possible. I think I got nearly 2 full seasons in before one of us was like, all right, this would be a fun time to play it. And the crowd went nuts because I think, it hadn't been played every other game or every game for 5 years.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I always get kind of tired of the staples and look for guys who might spice it up a little bit, and you always did that. You were always really good about that.
Yeah, and it's a weird line to walk because, you are trying to please a crowd of 20 to 40,000 people who all have opinions on music, and music tends to be really personal, as you know. And so, you could play a song as good as it is, someone might hate it because it's associated with a bad memory, and they might tell you that. Mm-hmm. And you're like, well, do I keep playing it? Do I hold it off for a few games? I did ask a couple fans, like, hey, let me know next time you're at a game so I know not to play it, just to respect them. But otherwise, if it's a good song, then it's worth playing.
Yeah. So you would accommodate people like that, huh?
I would try to, and, that's, especially with the Stars, there's so many people that would have, requests and ideas and, would tweet me, come up to me at the game, say, hey, this song would be fun, or what about this song in this situation, that it became kind of a communal thing, not to overblow it. It's still playing music at a hockey game, but it really was a cool way to connect with fans, like, on a different level. And again, it made it more personal. If I did play a song that someone suggested or that I knew might mean something to them in a positive way. And it was just a really cool way to do things.
I've always thought that those guys that played music at games were kind of working in a vacuum. They had the stuff that they played all the time, and they weren't going to deviate from that because to them it worked. And taking ideas from fans, as you did, was no, they weren't about to do that. Yeah. I'm the DJ. I know what works here.
Right.
You're the fan. You don't know.
And sometimes it's not always the DJ that has that choice. Like, I was lucky, especially with the Stars, where Jason Danby kind of had things set up really well to, it all kind of went through him in a certain way. Like, he obviously still had, people that he answered to and all that, but he did a great job where, I was able to kind of figure out my boundaries. Like, I'm not going to play something that just sucks or is, really heavy screamo metal stuff. Just, but within the lines of the coloring book, I could figure out what ideas would work and, where to place certain things that are, a little more unusual or things like that. But we also, I think, had enough credibility built up that we could get away with a little bit more than, like when I DJ'd for the Mavs or Rangers, it was a little bit of a tighter playlist. Just that's kind of the way management or whoever had kind of always done it that way. Like with the Mavs, Mark Cuban tended to prefer kind of, as he said, like wedding reception music, where it's like everybody's just on the dance floor the whole time. Play stuff that people know, play stuff that people like just keep the crowd into it and keep them having fun. And then with the Rangers, it tended to be more traditional. And, like the great Chuck Morgan, he still threw in different ideas. He was also helping to control some of the, the videos and all that of, don't do the wave. And, but he would also play the Chris music whenever, like CJ Wilson, after he started playing for the Angels, to kind of troll him a little bit. But Chuck also had a great feel for, what the game wanted and what the ballpark, especially, most of his time was at the Temple, and that's a more old school feel, more old school vibe for most of that time. So it made more sense to kind of keep more of a traditional baseball feel with maybe a little bit of, country and stuff like that, since we're in Texas. But with the Stars, it was just kind of, you could play around with the format a little bit more than other teams.
Yeah. Let's get back to what you were saying about the difference between the Temple and, I guess, the new place.
Mm-hmm. The Gilf.
Yeah, the Gilf. You really think that there's a difference between the two buildings that is due to just something about each one?
To an extent.
Did that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I think, it's not like you're bound to either one of how it should sound, but I think, the sound system at the new park is better. The feel of it is more modern. And so I think it makes more sense to go in a little bit more modern direction, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
To go a little bit more, you can experiment a little bit more. You got, they've got different surround speakers set up where, I'm not sure if they've used it a ton, but, you can set it where you can play a horse galloping effect and have it basically cascade through the different speakers from, home plate to left field to center to right and back to home, just where each different section is kind of hearing it grow and then shrink and all that.
Yeah.
And so there's just different toys to play with, I guess is how I would put it. Like when Chuck first started, he basically had maybe a turntable, maybe two, and was having to do everything off of records, I think. And then it became playing off of carts, tapes. And then he started getting into the digital system. And, so you're always trying to innovate and keep things modern, but I do.
What do they have now? Do they have like a Spotify playlist or something?
No, Chris Statzer's doing an awesome job. Like,
Yes.
but he's got like a DJ deck. He's got, he's able to, do some mixes during, batting practice or, pregame and stuff if he wants. And so, again, I think some of it's also just when it comes down to it, you have more toys to play with.
Yeah.
Just like I think that's where, to go back to my time at the Ticket, I think I got lucky where, by the time I got there, they had just upgraded the Inco, the system that we would play drops from, and so there was even more pages of stuff to play with. Like when Expo did it, I think he had 3, then 5 pages at a time, and I think by the end of my time there, it was up to 10, and that's on 3 different screens. So you got exponentially more drops, with
so
each,
to speak,
with each page. And so, I think some of it's just technology and all that, and then just a matter of kind of who the boss is, who's got the say in the music and all that.
So
Right.
Grubes is some of this making it a little more modern and doing things differently at the Gilf, part of why you played the Thong song on the organ or an organ version.
I can't even remember. Like, I know that Dustin Tatro, who's the organist for the first few years at the new park, we would kind of send ideas back and forth on what would be good for, organ adaptions and all that. And I can't remember if it was me or him, or it might have been Chuck Morgan or someone, but, I remembered the Royce Clayton and Chad Curtis imbroglio in the locker room over the Thong song, and somehow we that became an idea of like, let's see if anybody notices. And once it got to that certain whether chord progression or melody, everybody's like, was that Thong song? So you kind of get to play around with stuff, and you're able to play a song without playing a song. You're not playing the actual Thong song, which probably wouldn't go over as well, in a reasonably family-friendly environment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did Chuck have anything to say about that?
If I remember right, he laughed about it when he realized, or maybe asked what it was and then laughed. But yeah.
I'd totally forgotten about that episode in Ranger history until you brought it up. I might have heard it out there this year in some of the games I've been at, and it just didn't grok to it at all.
Yeah, and that's kind of the beauty of, playing the organ versions of stuff. It's like, if you know, if not, then, it's just...
No harm, no foul.
Right, it's just, passing the time, basically.
Wait, so yesterday I actually watched a video on Instagram about how he came up with the Thong song.
Oh, yeah, I think I've seen that too.
Have you? Well, Mac, we're going to have to show you, but he's talking about how he couldn't get the beat for this, and he went on a date, and some woman said she was wearing a thong and then stripped for him. And then he told all of his friends, because none of them had ever seen thongs before, that he had saw one, and so then they became this it became like a journey for them to find thongs. And the guy, he goes, one of my friends walks in and goes, guys, thong, 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 thong. Like, I saw so many thongs. And he goes, you know what we're gonna do? Thong, the thong, thong, thong. And that's how they came up with the thong song.
Yeah, my understanding is they also the violin part was based or inspired by Eleanor Rigby. And they just, kind of got some of the stabs or whatever, but then brought in like a professional violinist or whatever to then, kind of extrapolate a new thing out of it. But yeah, it's
Brilliant.
I can't remember, is it Song Exploder maybe, or one of those, but look up Making a Thong Song on YouTube and it should come up, because that's where I watched it. But it's great.
When did you ladies first wear a thong?
High school, No, probably a little bit before that because I didn't like them underneath my sliding shorts when I played soccer growing up. And I had to have sliding shorts because if not, you should already see the scars on my legs, but I had to wear them. And so anything other than that was extremely uncomfortable. Extremely. It was the worst.
And you?
I'm trying to think.
I got to think you would be on the cutting edge of something like this.
Okay, because oh my gosh, this is like, okay, people know me. Everybody will live. No, because I did not wear
Except
any
your children.
for a long time.
I might have
And
known.
that felt it just seemed like it would be uncomfortable. So I actually was not on the cutting edge. It took me a little while to get like, oh, okay, no, these are pretty nice. I can wear these, and they were comfortable and,
You went through a phase where you didn't wear underwear at all? Is that what you're telling me?
Did it have to be a phase or can it?
I feel like it's a lifestyle.
I feel like it might be a lifestyle.
It's definitely a lifestyle.
Because I, too, went through a phase when
I've heard
not
this, and
wear underwear.
yes, I'm very interested. Why
was
would
this?
you go through a phase of Commando? Like as a guy,
wait.
like all I ever hear is, you don't want to do that, and there's all the reasons. So I've always been fascinated.
I showed Becca. Did I show y'all the baseball card of the day that Lamont Wade decided not to wear anything underneath, and they were taking baseball card photos?
No.
Oh, was he hanging dong?
Oh yes,
It's like thigh length.
Damn.
I have a very close friend and I that we he played with him and he was like, Ashley, you have to see this. So we tried to set up one of our girlfriends with him so we could see what it was outside of that.
Did you have success?
No.
Oh,
None that I will discuss on any proportion, but no, not as much as I would like.
fair
In
enough.
that department, I was very curious. This thing was like an anaconda, I swear.
What do we think about that, Shoopy?
Lucky guy, I guess.
So, what was the purpose of your Commando days? I mean, were you just not feeling like laundry?
No. It was really stupid. I was in a band with two guys, and they both, independently of each other, but they both didn't. And so one day I thought, okay, I'll try that, see what happens. And it turned out that I liked it okay, and I stayed with it for a while. But it turned out to be, thankfully, just a phase. I regrouped, got my act back together, and started wearing underwear again.
You hopefully never got little Shoopy caught up in a zipper, right?
No, I always had pretty good luck with it as far as any of the possible disasters that could take place in a situation like that.
Did you ever go to the button fly?
Button fly? Yeah, I did that too. In fact, this might have been simultaneous. When I went Commando with button fly.
I feel like we need to get Gordy on a Photoshop or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Those were wilder days. Wilder days.
So I understand Grubes, and I've been there, but people who know better than I say that you knew a home run quicker than anyone. You could hit that natural so fast and be right. Is that just what did it have anything to do with the view you had, or was it really you're just
That
because you're just that good?
I guess a combination of both. Like, it helped that for the most part, that little parlor trick happened on Joey Gallo home runs. which are usually no doubters anyway. But most left-handed hitters, I had a better view because I was towards the third base side just a little bit up on the fourth level at the park. So combination of angle, kind of knowing what to look for in terms of how the outfielders are reacting, and I wasn't very good, but played catcher back in the day in high school and all that. So kind of understanding from that perspective too, you generally are going to have an idea of if it's a no-doubter or, enough of a no-doubter to know, okay, I can play it now. I didn't try to do it on a wall scraper or anything like that, but if I could kind of read that it was at least 5 to 10 rows back, then yeah, I would let it fly. And like actually every now and then, like I've gone and watched like clips on YouTube of some of the home runs that I did it on. Most of them were Gallo, but there were a few where, like as Jared Sandler, I think, said on a tweet, like I hit the natural before it even got out of the infield. Like it was just that much of a no-doubter where it's like, okay, I'm just going to fire it off and wait for it to land. And the hang time was impressive, though. Where it's kind of like, okay, it's been up in the air long enough that I started to worry, oh, God, did it die and did it come back? Yeah. But I actually...
was that on a Gallo?
Yeah. Where the next day, I found out that Gallo said that he doesn't want that to happen ever again. Like, he wanted the ball to land in the stands before the natural played.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Like, it made him nervous?
I think it was a combination of that and worrying about making maybe the pitcher look bad or something, or just, kind of being a little too home team friendly, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Did you accommodate that wish?
Yeah, and then he got traded like a month later, so it kind of worked out. But there was like, I think it was, do you remember John Hicks? He was with the Rangers for like 3 weeks. Like, we got him from the Tigers. He was like a backup catcher, but he hit the hell out of the ball. And the problem is he's a right-handed batter. And towards left field, I lose a little bit of the wall. Like, just the way the angles are and all that.
Yeah.
But he hit the crap out of it so well that I basically chanced it and hit it while it was still in the air. And thank God it wound up hitting the foul pole. But it would hit really high up there. But it was really close to being foul. But it was definitely a fun game. And it's something, to be clear, it's something that Chuck Morgan would do before, too. Maybe not quite as extreme at times, but he and the scoreboard crew would have like a running bet of which would happen first, hitting the natural or the crew running on the ribbon boards, the home run animation.
Yeah.
So, I kind of took that, and then, having Gallo and having the angle that I did and all that just kind of became kind of a cheat code, basically, of like, okay, let's just see how ridiculous it can be.
That's funny.
And thankfully, I only got burned once, and it wasn't even intentional. Cole Calhoun hit a liner, and
the always edgy Cole Calhoun.
Always edgy. And it hit towards right center, where there's kind of that angle, but I wasn't really intending on hitting the home run song just yet, but basically a combination of either finger slipped or I just maybe did misrate it just enough and all that I kind of started to play and realized pretty quickly, oh crap, it hit, the gate. And so that's when it kind of became a little bit more of like, okay, I think I'll chill out a little bit on it for a while and, come back to it later.
So you never played it on like a two-hopper to the fence or anything?
God, no. Like, at least, that one was on the fly. Like, it just hit like the very top of the wall, I guess. But it was pretty clearly, hit well, but it was also too low to be able to try to do that. So I might have tried to outdo myself. You got to keep it edgy.
Yeah, you do.
Always edgy Cole Calhoun.
That's right, you do. He would have it no other way.
Indeed.
He would be no other way.
Yeah. He's right now being edgy somewhere.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
We just don't know where.
No.
We don't know.
He doesn't want you to know.
That's right. If he
Screw
wanted
him.
you to know, you would know.
We don't want to fucking know.
Now I'm curious where Cole Calhoun is.
Well, you
He
got
was-
your phone in your hand. Look it up.
That's what I'm doing. I'm a producer. Come on now.
He was the redhead that generally batted right after Mike Trout for like 10 years on the Angels.
The one that no one remembers.
Right.
Beside unless he played on your team.
Yeah. But I do feel like he generally kicked our ass at times. Like
He was like what's his face for was it Marcus Simeon with when he was with the A's?
Marcus Simeon probably kicked
Wasn't
our
he
ass.
he was like a Ranger slayer.
Yeah. I
Wasn't
know
that
like we
Marcus?
had like Tim Salmon.
Yeah,
Was
Tim
Ranger
Salmon
killer.
was a
Like I feel like Marcus Simeon was one of those where it was like every time he played the Rangers, he just freaking annihilated them.
Wouldn't be shocking.
Wouldn't
yeah.
be shocking.
I wouldn't be shocked by that either. But Tim Salmon, yeah. I mean, even now, he's probably been gone from the game for how long?
20 years probably.
Maybe. But when you talk about Ranger killers from days of yore, or Ranger killers right now, or any other time, he belongs in the conversation. Because there was rarely a series between the Angels and the Rangers where he didn't do some damage and didn't hit a home run or two.
So Cole Calhoun is retired, signed his retirement papers as of March 15th, 2024.
There you go.
All right. So he is newly out of the game now.
Still
Okay.
edgy.
Yes, still edgy, but a new retiree. A different kind of edge.
Right.
The kind where he can't come back from. He's in the new frontier. I don't know. I'm just here. What else do I want to talk about?
I don't know.
I'll keep asking questions. I just want to know if y'all want to talk about something.
I like talking about stuff.
I like talking about stuff too. But what kind of stuff?
I want him to ask you some questions. I want him to talk to you about like things that he wants to know, wonders about. I mean, we're on a big adventure here. We're all getting to know
Huge
each other.
adventure.
Like,
He may not have any.
he may have questions for Ashley.
Oh, I
Yeah,
actually
he
have
might.
a question for you.
Oh, for me.
Yeah, I have a question for you. Okay. So I've told Mike this story. The first couple times I met Mike, I didn't think Mike liked me very much. Not that he was anything other than a very nice person to me. He just is very reserved.
Everybody thinks that.
So for you, what was it like to be thrown in this room with them? I mean, you were an intern, and I remember when I was interning. I love everybody at CBS, but sometimes it was really hard with like Bill Jones and all of them because you just didn't know how they felt about you. Plus, you were the intern because you're kind of like, oh shit, like, sorry, sir, let me grab you a coffee. Like that's sometimes how it is. And then you find out later that they loved you.
Yeah.
But so what kind of was that initial reaction, and how did you finally feel like he warmed up to you?
Like I said, thankfully it happened fairly quickly. Like I did know, like I was a P1 for years before I started working up there relatively. I was probably only about 3 or 5 years listening at the time because I was 16.
See, if you're a P1, it can happen for you too.
It can. But like I knew his reputation, but like I said, from the start, he always at least, would say hi. He never, did any sort of like, don't look him in the eye type of thing and stuff like
I
that.
still can't look him in
Where-
the eye. What are you talking about? He has
Well-
not allowed me that good grace. I'm just kidding.
All
But
right.
still.
All right. First of all, that don't look me in the eye nonsense is way, way overblown. That is the creation of somebody else, not me. I never told anybody, don't look me in the eye. Never did that. Wouldn't do that, then or now.
I'm just messing with you, Mike.
Yeah. But he always, like I said, he was always nice enough to me. Like there was still, a respect or whatever kind of factor that, I would try not to be too much of a bother to him, at least off the air. On the air, I tended to troll you pretty hard. But, like off the air, I think it's still kind of the case of, we make a little small talk, like that's where one of our little catchphrases with each other of, times are good.
Yes.
So I would just, like, every time we would see each other after the show, like getting on the elevator or whatever, I'd be like, good times. Like, just, I didn't know what else to say. Like,
Or I'd ask him, how are the times, Grubes? And he'd say, times are good.
Times are good. But it was always just...
I don't know how that got started.
Yeah, I really do think it was just because I was awkward and, kind of wanted to make a conversation with you and, like, just thought, well, I'll just say we had some good times today or, had good times doing the show. And, yeah, it just kind of grew from there. But, no, like, the whole time that we've known each other, he's just always been easy to talk to, easy to work with, easy to, make laugh. Like, especially at the Freak, the way the room was set up. Like, I was in the control room, but at the Freak, the board op looked into the studio directly, whereas most of my time at the Ticket at the old studio, I was, like, having to look off to my side, if you remember.
Yes.
And so being at the Freak, and Shoopy would always be positioned in that center microphone. So we always had, line of sight with each other. So, we could do our nonverbal, cues for each other or try to make each other laugh. And,
Yeah. Or if somebody else would say something, Jeff or Julie would say something, and I would look at him like, did you hear that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he would know exactly what I was getting at.
Yeah. I would either know, okay, that needs to be marked, or he would give me like a little, like that, like play it. Because he knew that I had something lined up or potentially did if I was paying attention and, on the ball enough. So, yeah, I think we've always had, just an easy enough relationship that, it's always just been pretty damn fun.
Yeah, it's just a chemistry thing. That's all it is.
Did it start with Half Price Books having a really big sale, or was it before then? Do you feel like that was the moment you solidified that connection? Half Price Books was having a really big sale, and you guys were really happy about it.
Yeah, I think if you want to tell that one.
They had a commercial about it. And the commercial was, and don't get me wrong here, I love Half Price Books.
Mm-hmm.
Who doesn't love Half Price Books?
Yeah.
But the commercial that they had, that they put out for their sale was
Hokey.
Yeah. I mean, just a real exercise in hokiness. And so one day, we're in a break. I'm sitting in the studio writing something down. Shoopy is in the control room, and the Half Price Books commercial comes on. And I don't think I'd ever heard it before. If I had, it hadn't got my attention. And nobody is in the studio but me. Everybody else got out of there. So I'm the only one in there. I would imagine Shoopy's the only one in the capsule. And here comes the Half Price Books commercial. Well, about probably 10 to 15 seconds into it, I'm over there writing down whatever I'm writing down.
Okay, but you have to sing it.
What?
You have to sing it.
There's a big sale at Half Price Books. Really big sale at Half Price Books.
And then I think it ends with like really big sale for everyone.
Yeah, or Half Price Books for everyone.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah.
Something like that. And they start playing that commercial, and I'm over there writing stuff down. And about, 10 or 15 seconds in, I think, man, that's really a weird commercial. But I didn't think anything of it. I kept writing stuff down. And about probably another 10 seconds after that, with it still going on, I think, is anybody else hearing this? And I look up into the capsule, and there is Shoopy over there looking at me, laughing, wondering, okay, when's he going to catch on to this?
I just had a feeling, like, because you were always great about anytime there was a weird phrase in a commercial or something like that. Like the most recent one I can think of is from the Freak. stay up to date and keep it moving.
Oh yeah.
You know, like you threw that out there, and I was like, oh my God, why haven't I taken that drop? But you would always come into the control room probably, you know, every other week or so. Be like, Shoopy, did you hear that? And I'd be like, oh, I already made a note. Or be like, oh no, like I need to make a note of this. But yeah, that half price books one, I think that's when it really solidified to like, okay, I think I get his weirdness.
Yeah, that showed me that he was kind of in my head a little bit, and he knew what was going to get my attention, and he knew how I was going to react to it. And that's all I needed to know, that he was my guy.
It is fun just being able to still, you know, on the air or off the air, throw in some stupid reference and knowing that I'm going to be able to get you.
Yes. And you can, like few others.
You are too funny.
You've done just about everything, haven't you?
Wink.
You were my whore.
Well, we got our new drop.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good drop right there.
First drop, Shoopy.
All right.
It had to be Tiger.
It had to be tight.
Yeah.
Had to be. One of the greatest moments in sports history.
You and Dick Hicks reenacting the text exchange.
Yes.
Is it Tiger and Rachel Uchitel or someone else?
I think it was her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. It might have been somebody else. Might have been one of his fly-by nights.
Maybe.
I think
Golly.
it wasn't Rachel the waitress, whatever. Wasn't it the waitress?
Yeah, like the pancake restaurant or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
So she was a ho.
That we referred to as Mandy Flapjacks.
Yes, that's what it was.
That's great.
So see, that is the kind of chemistry Shoopy and I have together. And that's why that I'm glad, beyond reason, that he has decided to cast his lot with little YDC as we grow this thing and try to get it to wherever the hell it's going to go.
We'll find out.
Find out. It's going to be
Welcome to the
greatness. I do want to mention, if you'd like to note, Elvisino again and our remote, we now will have I'm Grubes shirts available.
No way.
Yes.
That's awesome.
It has been confirmed. We will have some of those shirts available when you get there. And soon we will have several of our shirts for sale online.
All right.
Yes, and the remote will be Thursday, the 18th of July, 2 until 4. We will all be there. Shoopy will be there. There will be lunch specials that day from 11 to 3. And, of course, there they also offer Tex-Mex brunch Saturday and Sunday. Elvisino is in the Lake Highlands shopping area at
So I'm at Buckner and
Northcliffe. Yeah, Buckner and Northcliffe in that shopping center there. And it is a fantastic Mexican restaurant. We've been there a couple times already. We dig it. We think you will too. But don't take our word for it. Just drive by there yourself. Check out the parking lot. Because it's always full. The restaurant is always full. And it's lively. It's a great hang. It's great food, great margaritas, everything you would want from a Mexican restaurant. That's where we're going to be on the 18th of July from 2 until 4. Now, I know those are a little bit of off hours, but if you can get loose that day,
lunch.
come see
Leave
us.
A little
What?
Early. I said take a late lunch or leave a little early.
Yeah. Take you a late
Yes.
lunch that day.
It's worth it.
Or just
It's
get off
worth it.
early. Take a half day. It's a
Yeah.
Friday.
And you,
Come on now.
And you Grubes know about the enchilada dinner, but I will tell you, we went last Wednesday, and no lie, the line can stretch.
It's impressive. Like,
Yes.
number of times me and Darcy been there, and you have to wait a little bit, but it is worth it every time.
It's
and
worth it. Yes.
yeah, but getting the Sunday brunch, I've had their breakfast tacos and all that, but
Oh,
pretty much everything I've had there, like I try to get something different every time, and I'm I've been happy with every single item.
I've had something different every time, and I love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
I get the same thing every time, as I
Attaboy.
always do,
I'm
You
not
and me
surprised.
both.
and I love it. And this is something that has been in their family for over 100 years. It was started by their great-grandfather, introducing Tex-Mex to Dallas, and they continue the tradition at El Vecino over in East Dallas. And it's a great place, a cool, comfortable place. Grego and I both go
There you go.
go there a lot. We dig it. We bet you will too.
Well, we
Sorry,
know.
man.
Well, we'll
I
get
just
Grego
lapsed
there
into a-
sometime.
Grego, now
I
you
just
have to
lapsed
come.
into a Joe Willie's live spot.
That's all right.
Grego, you are now invited to El Vecino. We'll see you
Yes.
there.
Yeah.
We'll see you there.
Let's make it incredible.
Yes,
Yes.
let's make it incredible.
It's fantastic.
Are we?
I am so super excited.
I can't wait.
I am too. Shoopy is with us. We hope you're with us too at Your Dark Companion. Tell everybody about it. Tell them to go to patreon.com. Get on board here with us because we got some great things coming up. Some things that I think you will really, really dig. So jump on board here with us at Your Dark Companion. We will see you next time.
All right. I'm gonna go take my pants off.
Your Dark Companion is a Stolen Water Media presentation.